Good day, fam. So welcome back to my Wednesday wisdom, right? I feel like I'm on one of those shows where it's like, welcome back. Except this is the divine wisdom show, the reality of the real reality. Okay. Anyways, I'm doing something a little bit different today for my divine wisdom card reading. And before I even get into that, I do have a couple announcements. So my R&R meditation is on sale till August 1st, and then it will go into full price of $19.99. And then the first week in August, August 5th at 6:30, I am having my Merkaba activation workshop at Abundance Space in Scottsdale. So I'm super excited for that. The energy exchange is 44, and you're going to be getting so much more than that. You're going to be getting a worksheet to take home. We're going to do some visualization, meditation, sound, what else? Breath work. And you're going to be able to replicate that on your own so you can activate the Merkaba on your own, right? So with today, I just felt like doing something a little bit different, right? I like to change it up. I don't know that I'll always do it this way, but if you like it this way, let me know, right? So I personally, my energy is a little bit low, whether you can tell that or not, I don't know. But I just had a tooth extracted, and so I've been recovering from that, and there was an infection in there. So it's taken me a little bit longer to recover, but all in all, I'm really, really grateful. Because it's really allowed me to go into a place of contemplation. And so I am going to speak a little bit about that. And to guide us today is the Archangel Charity. So she's all about prayer and contemplation. And I really love in Kyle Gray's book how he references between prayer is the way we speak with the divine, and meditation is the way we open ourselves to receive the answers we need to hear. So it's all about that receiving. And I definitely feel like, well, not like I had a choice, right? When you're recovering, definitely in that contemplation and receiving energy, because I really couldn't do much other than the bare minimal of just kind of showing up with the day-to-day activities that I needed to do. And today, so the theme though, I'm gonna pick from this deck, which is the Sacred Rebels Oracle with Alana Fairchild. So also, just so you know, this video may be a little bit longer because I am pulling some of the cards out, which normally I do before, because otherwise it just usually like will, you know, it's already long enough, like 15-20 minutes. And so we'll see. Hopefully it won't be longer than the norm, but just bear with me as I go through this, as we go through this, right? Even though this is a recording. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, so basically, what I'm pulling for this deck is the theme or the topic for this energy reading. And this is going to play into it a little bit, so that's why I wanted to briefly talk about this. And Archangel Charity is going to be assisting us today. So what's the theme for today's reading? One card, please. Just one card. One card, please. Okay, perfect. Only got one card. Oh, I like this. Beautiful. So it says, trust yourself. And oh man, that resonates on so many different levels, right? With my own work, and then also with a lot of different people that, you know, I've been talking to, or just even one-on-one clients. It's like a lot of people are being either like relocated. So maybe you're moving, right? Like your actual home, like maybe you're completely relocating, or maybe you're moving in a way that you've made a decision, right? You've made a decision to make a change with your health, with your career, with your self-work in regards to spiritual work, or, you know, if you are religious, that's fine too, right? You can be open-minded about this, but maybe you're going deeper into that work and you've really decided to make a change for yourself. So, you know, with that, or even a relationship, right? Like maybe you were in a relationship and you broke off, or maybe the relationship you've already decided that it hasn't worked, right? Like maybe you already ended that relationship, but in your mind, you're wondering and you keep recycling and going back, right? Instead of really trusting the decision that you've made. Whether it was like your personal decision to do that, or, you know, especially right now, the universe is really, you know, even though it's not forcing upon you, it feels that way. Like it really does feel like the universe is forcing upon you to make that decision and choice, right? So however that may apply to you. So it's in this card, you see, like it is very earthly, a very earthly element. So one, if you haven't been trusting yourself, right, not having that confidence, then I'm going to go into this card. You know, maybe it's time for you to go more into prayer, meditation, and contemplation, so you can really come into that center point of yourself and really start to trust yourself and the decisions that you're making. Because when you feel so confident in the decision that you're making, it's like you're a force to be reckoned with, right? Like you are this ultimate force that most people aspire to be. But to get to that point, you know, it does take that inner trust within yourself, also with the universe, right? With the infinite creator, because sometimes we feel like when we have been forced into a decision by the universe, we start to doubt and not trust that ultimate decision because we felt forced by it. And I've definitely been there, right? I definitely can relate to any of you who are going through that at this time. The other thing is there is obviously obvious the animals, right? So maybe if you're someone who really connects to animals, now's a really good time to do that. Or I know it's hot in certain states like Arizona, right? Or my hometown, Florida, right? In Del Rey. You know, it's going to be hot, so getting outside isn't always like the most pleasant thing to do. But, you know, maybe if you can go into the ocean or the pools or the rivers, you know, and get more into the water element and really connect with Mother Earth and the nature. Yeah, I mean, that's just, that feels so apparent. This also really feels like Mother Earth too, to me. Like this card just really resonates as Mother Earth. And in that more receiving mode. So if, again, going back to trusting yourself, and you're not sure, you know, maybe you need to make another decision, or maybe you're working on a project, or you're switching careers, or you've made a health choice and you're just kind of wondering, you know, like, is this the right situation for me? Going more into that meditation mode, right, that I talked about this, so you can receive that information, from the universe, from source. Okay, so with this, I'm going to pull two other cards from the Energy Oracle deck, which is this one. All right, so I'm going to pull 2 cards from here to clarify and assist in this topic of trusting yourself. Another thing, just 2 cards, please, Spirit. With trusting yourself, we got 1. You know, a lot of the time we're really hard on ourselves when we do make that decision, right? So, you know, part of that trusting is also the releasing some of that resistance. And for those of you who are really hard on yourself or a perfectionist, 1 more card, please, Spirit. Just starting to go more into that gratitude and thankful. And I can tell you just like, oh, that's too many. Hold on 1 second. One card, please. Just 1 more. Otherwise, if I grabbed all those cards, this reading would take forever, right? Okay, perfect. All right. So like I was saying, sometimes, you know, when you don't trust yourself, part of it is because you're being too hard on yourself. So then you get into this, like being all tied up, right? You're in a very restrictive phase and you're constricted, right? And so when we're not in this very like free flowing receptive mode, we are then in this phase, right? We're in that energy of being all tied up. Just want to feel into this. But as you can see, right, she's actually tied up. I don't know that you can see it through the video, but she's actually tied up by like these vines, right? So it's not necessarily it's something you may need to work through, right? Because there's a certain level of resistance, but ultimately it's your choice when you start to release some of this resistance. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. It's not. When you're in a phase of resistance, it's not always easy. And then this other one is women holding a coin. All right. So, and then at the bottom of the deck, it's door to value. Okay. And for me, this isn't just about abundance. This is also about confidence and self-esteem, self-worth, right? Like, how do you value yourself, right? Even though it does have money, so it can be a physical value, right? In that terms. And then on top of, you know, this woman holding a coin, again, there's a lot of feminine energy. So what I'm feeling here is that even if in the physical, biological form, if you're a man watching this, it could be more tapping into your feminine energy, okay? So it's not always, yeah, you know, this could be more of a woman, right, biologically, but it also, if you are biologically a man, it's just the energy of tapping more into your feminine resources, because this is all feminine right here, right? But then I did say Archangel Charity is assisting us, and with that, she's really starting, which goes into this, starting to understand her value, and this can be, say, for example, in a relationship, right? You're starting to understand like the value that you provide and how much someone should really appreciate you, right? Even if you are in a relationship, you can start to not demand, but command, call, you know, ask upon to switch that value system that you've been holding yourself and have that communication and that talk. Now, this could be an intimate relationship, or this could be, you know, a business relationship, right? Like maybe someone in a business relationship has been taking advantage of you. And you're starting to see your value and your self-worth and having that confidence, like, no, I am a high valued woman. So whether it's in relationship or business or personal, like maybe even your health, right? It's starting to say like, I value my health. And I'm going not necessarily to always take action, but actually say in regards to health, you start to listen to your body. So something that I did when I was going through this healing, right? At first, because it's basically almost been, well, it's been a week and a half. It'll be 2 weeks at the end of this week that I've been healing. And so, you know, we always demand for us to recover faster, right? But then, and I was like, gosh, why am I not recovering faster? Like, why am I not recovering faster? Like, I feel like I used to recover faster when I was younger, right? And then what I started to do, and I shift, right? Because I was more in this energy of being tied up, like, why am I not healing faster? And I started to shift and going more into this trusting energy of saying, like, you are healing at the speed that you need to. And I am thankful for the time that you are healing. I am grateful for my body and that it is healing in a very, what was the word? Effective and efficient way, right? Because I had an infection in my case, or even if, like, say you get a tooth pulled or something happened, like when something is open and there's a wound there, right? There's possibility of infection. So I'm just grateful the infection didn't get any worse and that the infection is actually healing. And so I shifted my thought pattern of more in being thankful and appreciative of the healing that was taking place instead of the demand of like, why aren't you healing faster? Why aren't you healing faster? You have all the stuff you need to get done. So again, going back to holding this coin, right? And there is going to be, I also feel, especially with these two being here and having that coin and having the money, that this is tied into financial abundance. So in regards to that, I also want to say something I've really continued to learn, right? I learned it in my younger years through the sport of tennis, and now I'm learning it more through my own business of doing things, because I've really had to do things completely different, right? I'm in a completely demographic now. And so patience and determination to success goes a very long way. And in today's world, we are so distracted, and we are also always watching other people's success as well, and then placing upon us of like, why am I not there yet, right? So between having so many more distractions, right? Because I was really, like I said, in this contemplation energy, and be careful when Jared goes into contemplation, all right, y'all? That, and you'll see, because I also wrote a poem, which I'll be posting in the next day or two. Gosh, where is I going with that? Contemplation. Yeah, so I was also wondering, like, in this contemplation energy, like, why today is everything so stressful? Like, why is, excuse me, why are things so much more stressful than even as, like, when I was growing up or before that, right? And I was kind of thinking it now, there could be a lot of reasons, right? But mostly I feel like it's because of our environment, and we have so many more distractions in our environment. So how our life used to be a little bit more simplified in doing things, we had less distractions, so our thoughts and our energy wasn't going in so many different directions. So say like now our energy goes in I'm just making up a number, right? Say like 20 different directions. Say back then, when I was growing up, it was more 10. And then back then it was like maybe like 7 or 5, right? So it's like our energy is going everywhere right now. And sometimes, you know, either one, eliminating those distractions, or just, again, going more into simplification and giving yourself space and time to put your focus into, you know, just a few things instead of multiple things, right? Okay, so I'm going to clarify the women holding a coin, because I know we're hitting the 20-minute mark. I did say this might be a little bit longer, and all tied up, just to see if there's anything else that the divine wants me to bring through. So I'm just going to ask for clarification with one card, the woman holding the coin. One card, please, Spirit. Clarification. The woman holding the coin, just one card. One card. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles. Cool. All right, and then one card clarifying, all tied up. One card being all tied up. King of Cups. That was reversed though. Okay. So the Knight of Pentacles, you can see here with the women holding the coin, all right? You can see that, well, one, he's not even on his horse, right? So this isn't a fast movement, right? And Pentacles is all about that earth energy. So this isn't like getting in more to like this abundance state, whether it's financial, health, you know, relationships, however it may apply. This isn't a fast moving energy because he's not even on the horse, right? Because if you're on a horse, you're going to move way faster. You're going to be able to get somewhere way, way faster. And you can see he's not even running. He doesn't even have any shoes on. So he's taking his time and building this abundance, and really being precise, right? Like you can see each pentacle seems to be in a very specific manner. It's not like all chaotic. It's like placed in very specific areas. So he's taking his time and placing these pentacles in a very specific way and being very thorough with where he is placing them. All right. And, you know, with that though, as you can see, there's the star on his back. So the star can mean like hope, right? But for me, it also always brings me back to the elements of fire, water, earth, air, and then ether. So he is being divinely guided and working with the elements to create this, okay? Whether he's aware of it or not. But like I said, more than anything that I feel is there's definitely a lot of earth energy here, and this isn't a fast moving to get to this place here and this place here. And then all tied up with the King of Cups being reversed, right? The cups being all about, you know, emotion. You can really see he's in a certain water element. So water is all about that emotional energy, and with it being reversed and with this being all tied up, it's you know, our emotions could be getting the best of us. Maybe we're emotionally fatigued at this time, so that's where going back into that contemplation energy is really going to help you. And you know, and like I said, maybe even getting out in nature and working with the water element. Just seeing if there's anything else. So there overall may be just a bit of emotional instability at this time. That's what I'm predominantly picking up, especially in regards to clarifying this card. So, you know, allowing our thoughts not to get the best, or in this case, not to get the worst of us, not allowing our thoughts to get the worst of us. But I do love that even with all this feminine energy having to more of the masculine energy coming in is really cool. But you can see even with this masculine coming in, they're still in more of a balance of a receiving state. Like he's taking his time, he's not going in any fast forward action, and he's really he's even got his eyes closed, so he's really going within. He's you know, meditating, also understanding that he's, you know, all his emotions are more stable in this phase when it's up, but since it came reversed, maybe you feel like you're coming undone, but since it's reversed, you know, yeah, just allowing yourself to emotionally process things and allowing for that space of clarity and decision making to come in. All right, guys, so if you would like a one-on-one reading, feel free to reach out to me. My information will be in the description box. My readings, obviously, I would incorporate actually a certain exercise and coaching. So my readings aren't just reading the cards, but then like in this case, because the emotions are all tied up, like I would give that person a certain exercise on how to work through this, right? It's like, yeah, that's great. We know we're in a resistive state, but then how do we work through that resistive state? So I would be giving then a little bit more coaching. And that's where my readings, if you were to get a one-on-one session, is a little bit different than other people. And I'm not saying that they don't provide certain guidance and whatnot, they definitely will, but mine, I definitely carry in my coaching experience into the reading. Yeah, well, I hope you have a grateful week, and of course, enjoy the moment.